Have you ever wondered how modern beliefs on astronomy were made and discovered? Well, today we are going to address about this modern astronomy by discussing what happened during the intellectual revolutions that advanced the interaction between science and technology with society, particularly about Copernican revolution. Before the Copernican revolution, many ideas were made to contribute in the study of astronomy. One of these ideas is the geocentric system that arose to be studied further in the Copernican revolution. This idea or theory focuses on the structure of the solar system, which states that the Earth is the center of the universe and it is orbited by the Sun, Moon, stars, and other planets, and was made by a famous philosopher and astronomer, Claudius Ptolemy. This idea was widely accepted by the people at that time, but eventually was superseded by Nicholas Copernicus.
Nicholas Copernicus was a Polish mathematician and astronomer born on February 19, 1473 in Torun, Poland. Between 1491 and about 1494, he studied liberal arts, including astronomy and astrology, at the University of Krakow. His subjects of study are Earth, precision of the equinoxes, heliocentric, Copernican system, and rotation. He eventually challenged the Ptolemaic model known as geocentric system by introducing a new concept known as heliocentrism, which was stated in one of his notable works, De Revolutionibus Orbem Coelestium, also known as On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Orbs.
In the concept of heliocentrism or heliocentric system, it was proposed that the Sun and not the Earth was the center of the solar system. This system is also the one that we recognize as the modern ordering of the planets. In this new ordering, the Earth is just another planet, and the Moon is in orbit around the Earth, not the Sun, contradictory to the old geocentric model where the Sun is just another planet that orbits the Earth. The stars are distant objects that do not revolve around the Sun. Instead, the Earth is assumed to rotate once in 24 hours, causing stars to appear to revolve around the Earth in the opposite direction.
The Copernican system, by banishing the idea that the Earth was the center of the solar system, immediately led to a simple explanation of both the varying brightness of the planets and retrograde motion. First, the planets in such a system naturally vary in brightness because they are not always in the same distance from the Earth, and also, the retrograde motion could be explained in terms of geometry and a faster motion for planets with smaller orbits, as illustrated in the following animation.
Copernicus' idea first appalled many, as the religious belief had taught them that the center of the solar system was not the Earth, but actually the Sun. It was rejected by the public because the religious belief taught that the Earth was created first before all other things. He was even persecuted as a heretic because his teachings were against what was widely accepted by the people's belief. His book, On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Orbs, was not published until 2 months before his death. He knew that the views of the Vatican on the Earth's all-important position at the center of the universe and how tenaciously it held to that view. In proposing his theory, he was not just challenging the orthodox science. He was challenging the established religious view of reality, which in those days held even a greater away than the scientific view. So, fearing the wrath of the church, he kept his ideas to himself for 30 years. When it was eventually published in 1543, it was immediately placed in the papal index of forbidden books. For nearly 80 years, Copernicus' ideas remained ignored and forgotten until the Italian scientist Galileo Galilei took up the interest in the planetary motions. Astronomers realized that the Copernican model simplified the Earth's orbit for planets. It was also answered issue that could not be explained using geocentric model. It was eventually accepted by the people in the period, which was called the birth of modern astronomy. This era was known as the Scientific Revolution, which resulted in the transformation of the society's thought and beliefs.
Why is it called the Copernican Revolution? For a long period of time, three ideas held back the development of modern history from the time of Aristotle until the 16th and 17th centuries. First, the assumption that the Earth was the center of the universe. Second, the assumption of uniform circular motion in the heavens. And lastly, the assumption that objects in the heavens were made from a perfect, unchanging substance not found on Earth. The Copernican revolution paved the way for modern astronomy. It became the foundation of further studies that discussed the arrangement of planets in the universe. In the early times, people questioned what created days and nights. They wanted to understand what heavenly bodies like stars, moons, and planets are. Many Greek philosophers and intellectuals wrote about planets in an attempt to explain the movements of heavenly bodies and their effects on the world as they knew it. Many of these philosophers agreed that planets moved around in circular motion and that these movements created days and nights among others, but not until the heliocentric system was created by Nicholas Copernicus. The understanding of the astronomy were not cleared and many issues were made among the studies. It was transformed into what is called now the modern astronomy, and it is believed as the truth and is widely accepted more than the other studies and theories. This is why this era was called the Copernican Revolution.
Overall, the Copernican revolution changed the human view of the universe fundamentally. It created much interaction between science and technology and the society, as it made an impact on the intelligent minds of a human person. It contributed a lot to the much understanding of the astronomy that, until now, supports studies about the heliocentrism, still emerges and now with upgraded materials to access the heavenly bodies more accurately. And as a student, the Copernican revolution's heliocentric model became one of the primary idea of how the universe functions and is now what is believed as a fact.